Hi, welcome back to your conflict management book. Once again, this is the negotiations and sales class for the summer. We are now focusing in on chapter 5 of the guided notes, key negotiating temperaments. I need to share with you all that I'm an industrial psychologist. I specialize in Myers-Briggs type indicator personality profiles. Conflict management book actually uses the the temperament sorters of Myers-Briggs, but they only focus in on what we call the internal portions of the 16 temperaments. So they give a different label to some of the names, but I'm very, very familiar with them. I will talk to you about them in reference to the Myers-Briggs. Remember, no personality profile test is designed to be good or bad. It's simply meant to type people into certain categories, so it's easy to understand and negotiate with. It's easier for group work, and in the hiring process of choosing people, we like personality type indicators because we want to have all types in our work environment because the job is more innovative and creative that way. All right, so let's move on. Chapter 5, we categorize those personalities. It's found on page 73. You'll find that it's not meant to be good or bad. The labeling is just simply for the purposes of understanding what best words to use or situations to use when you are dealing with personality types. Typecasting is a method to creatively use or separate people into categories. Here we go with 4 key negotiating temperaments: the harmonizer, the controller, the pragmatist, and the action seeker. So the harmonizer is that person on the Myers-Briggs scale, which is they are intuitive and like the big picture, and being known as a perceiver means that they don't necessarily like closure on issues. So these people are always looking for possibilities. They call it the pacifier in this particular case. I don't know if I like that term, but when I was studying for my PhD, I remember I had to go work with a wolf pack at a zoo. Yeah, I know, as odd as it may sound. I was at Penn State and I did work at the Cleveland Zoo because it had one of the largest wolf packs that in a zoo environment, but they had an entirely open running space for the zoos and in the zoo. And I had to follow this one Omega wolf and understand the importance of the Omega wolf. He or she is actually the pacifier in a wolf pack. In other words, they eat last, but they keep the humor in the pack so that the pack stays in as a cohesive unit. I just found it fascinating. So I don't want people to ever think that a harmonizer is necessarily a bad thing. There's the controller called the bull. I don't like that name either. Benucci opinion, because that just always makes it seem like they're so pushy. But the truth is that the controller is also a big picture person, but because they have that combination of judging, which means they like closure, they always appear to say, okay, to move things along. Okay, let's close this issue. Okay, let's close on this issue. Let's close on this issue, because they want nothing left hanging. Whereas the harmonizer is okay with loose ends. The pragmatist, the street fighter. Once again, I don't like their terms, but I appreciate that they're trying to take the sensing and judging combination. What this sensing judging combination, they like concrete results. Give me detail, give me facts, and tell me what day we're going to complete it by. When you're negotiating with these types, that's the kind of information, that bottom line, that you need to bring in. Our action seeker, the high roller. Really? Okay, they're the sensing perceiving combination. Once again, they like they like the details and the facts. They always want the specifics, but because they have that perceiving as a portion of their temperament, they're okay with not having things tied down to a specific date, although they do have a strong sense of the here and now. These are hands-on people. They go, okay, let's get it done. What do we need to do to get it done? All right, performance checklist found on page 81 for the purpose of your guided notes. Temperament affects blank. Perceptions. That's right, we have a perception of the people that we're going to negotiate with. It also helps us to interpret how best to talk with these people. And there are certain behaviors that we can count on. So it is possible to recognize each temperament by paying attention to the approach. I'm trained with Myers-Briggs, so there's certain things that I always look for when I go into the offices of people. If I see somebody who has an office that's loaded with pictures of their family, I know that this is a person who's more in, these are what we call the intuitive, and then of course they're the intuitive perceptors. I can give them big picture ideas. All right, a performance checklist, once again found on page 81. We're talking about perceptions, interpretations of certain behaviors, and by paying attention to this approach, we are more capable of negotiating with these people and meeting a goal, both of us meeting our goals. Well, I can't believe how short this chapter was. I spent probably a year and a half of my life dealing with that wolf pack, and I will tell you that if you understand personality profiling, it's a lot easier to negotiate and avoid conflict. I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see you at the next guided notes session. Thank you.